Well, what you're talking about is the difference. This is the other side of Mills. See, Mills is talking about problems and difficulties. You're talking about pleasures, right? And you might say that private pleasures can also become a public good. And, well, that's what, in the best circumstances, that's what graduate school does. It helps you to understand how you can take these private interests. I like to talk to people. I'm curious. I like to solve puzzles. You don't have to go to school to do those things. But if you go to school, you will learn how to do them in a way that's more organized, that allows you to engage more easily in a discussion with other people who think about these things. You don't have to go to become a sociologist or get a PhD to do that. And thank you, Sebastian. This book is about that. Comment parler de la société. Because many people do the same thing that we do. They call it art. They call it theater. They call it film. They call it writing roman. You know, they do it in a different way. It's possible to pursue those pleasures in a number of areas, in a number of arenas, a number of organizations. There are people, and you don't see this in social science because there's no way to see these people, but in the arts, there are often discoveries of what are sometimes called naive artists or primitive artists or just people who are amateur, right, who are not professionals. I mean, Douanier Rousseau was not a professional painter, you know. He was a fonctionnaire, but he liked to paint. And he painted pictures that came to the attention, finally, of people who were interested in the world, the professional world of art. And they said, hey, this guy is good, right? We have to pay attention to him. I mean, that happens. But if you want to get into the world in which these kinds of pleasures and questions are discussed and worked on collectively, then you have to choose what collectivity you will join. Once you do that, you are in a world of social organization. Okay. So at the extreme, one answer is stay out of the social organization. Just do it, enjoy it, maybe write about it, maybe do like many poets have always done, which is to find a job doing something else, and then you do your serious work at night or some other time. And there are many examples of this. One of the great American composers of music, Charles Ives, was never a professional musician because he felt the world of professional music was too constraining, wouldn't allow him to do what he wanted. So he went into the business of insurance, and he was the executive of a big insurance company. And when he wasn't doing that, he wrote music. Right? People do that. Other people, of course, say, I'm a professional. And they, like Stravinsky, they look for people who will support them, who will pay them to write music, pay them to play their music, etc. It's a different... And then they have to deal with the constraints that Ives refused to accept. Now, how to actually manage the interaction between what you find interesting and what this world finds interesting, I can't tell you. Because that's something you find by trial and error. You try something, it works, it doesn't work, you try something else, etc. I have been in the business of sociology for a very long time, so I've tried all sorts of things. Many of the things I tried didn't work. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry because I liked them, but they didn't work. So I'm enough of a professional that when it doesn't work, after a while I say, okay, that didn't work. I don't spend more time on that. Right? It's that kind of, so the answer is for you to find. Because you're the only one who knows what will please you. So you have to do the experiments and find the answer.